The roar of a Cadillac Escalade ricochets off the concrete walls of Los Angeles' 101 freeway. At 3 in the morning, the city is asleep, but Derek Fisher is wide awake. Wide awake and upside down. The world spins, headlights whirl past in slow motion, the steering wheel has ripped itself from his control, the seatbelt digs into his shoulder, and the smell of burnt rubber fills the air. In the passenger seat, Gloria Govan's scream cuts through the chaos as the SUV flips, once, twice, before slamming roof first into the asphalt. Steam hisses from the crumpled engine. Glass rains across the road like shattered ice. Inside the wreckage, the former Lakers champion blinks through the haze, realizing everything has just changed. Only hours earlier, he was a man with trophies in his past and options in his future. Now, his career, his reputation, and maybe his freedom hang in the balance. And in that instant, Derek Fisher's story stops being about basketball and starts being about survival. June 4th, 2017. The sun was still warm over Los Angeles when Derek Fisher began his evening. 5 NBA championships, a career defined by clutch shots, and a post-basketball life still taking shape. He wasn't the kind of man people imagined on a police blotter. That night, he was with his girlfriend, Gloria Govan, someone used to the spotlight herself. They had plans, nothing unusual, dinner, drinks, laughter, a night that, in their minds, would fade into memory like 100 others. Around midnight, they left the Sherman Oaks area. Fisher slid behind the wheel of a 2015 Cadillac Escalade. Gloria, in the passenger seat, buckled in. The SUV purred to life. But this wasn't just any Escalade. It belonged to Matt Barnes, Gloria's ex-husband, former teammate and fellow NBA veteran. Barnes had given it to Gloria for their kids after a bitter divorce, a gesture meant to keep the peace, to keep family life stable. Nobody knew that by morning, this very vehicle would be center stage in a TMZ headline. The streets were quieter than expected for a Saturday, the kind of stillness that makes a city feel safer than it really is. Fisher knew the 101 like the back of his hand. He'd driven these curves countless times on late-night trips home after games. Familiar roads can be dangerous, they breed overconfidence. Just before 3 a.m., something went wrong. The Escalade drifted, the steering wheel resisted his hands. Gloria shifted in her seat, sensing trouble. The concrete barrier loomed ahead, impact. A bone-jarring collision with the guardrail sent sparks into the night. The SUV spun, weight shifting, physics taking over. The world turned upside down, literally. When the wreckage finally stopped moving, the Escalade lay on its roof. Its once polished frame was now a twisted shell. Miraculously, both Fisher and Gloria crawled out with only minor injuries. No other cars had been hit. The miracle was obvious. They could have died. Others could have died. They told reporters later. We're beyond grateful we're both okay, and no one else was involved. But relief was short-lived. Flashing red and blue lights closed in. The California Highway Patrol had questions. And they were about to change the night's narrative completely. Officer Martinez had seen hundreds of crash scenes. He noticed the signs immediately: slurred speech, unsteady movements, the unmistakable scent of alcohol. Field sobriety tests began on the shoulder of the 101. Walk a straight line, 1 foot in front of the other. Hold your balance. Follow the penlight. Each stumble told its own story. Blood was drawn at the hospital. In California, 0.08% is the legal limit. Fisher's numbers were well above. The kind of evidence prosecutors love. Cold, scientific, unshakable in court. Derek Fisher was placed under arrest for suspicion of DUI. The news broke fast. TMZ posted the footage before dawn. By breakfast, ESPN had interrupted programming to talk about it. The same networks that once replayed his buzzer beaters now replayed dashcam clips. The 5-time champion had become the day's cautionary tale. And there was extra fuel for the fire. The crash happened in Matt Barnes's SUV. The love triangle headlines wrote themselves. The public didn't see nuance. They saw a man who had everything: money, respect, a second career, and threw it away in one reckless night. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office wasted no time. 2 charges: DUI, driving with a blood alcohol content above 0.08%, each carried serious penalties. Jail time, fines, license suspension. The evidence was stacked against him. The defense had options: challenge the blood test, blame mechanical failure, question procedure. But the science was damning, the optics worse. The public wasn't just watching, they were judging, and prosecutors, being elected officials, knew it. Fisher's attorneys tried to negotiate. They argued his clean record, his charity work, his willingness to take responsibility. The DA pushed back. He could have killed someone. Plea deals were discussed, lesser charges in exchange for avoiding a costly trial, but any deal would still leave a permanent mark on his record and on his legacy. Outside, the media circus kept spinning. Sports analysts dissected his poor judgment like they once dissected his jump shot. Fans debated his punishment online. The internet's verdict was swift. Fame doesn't mean immunity. October 15th, 2017, downtown Los Angeles. The courthouse buzzed with reporters, cameras, curious onlookers. Inside, the judge, known for her no-nonsense approach to DUI cases, took her seat. Fisher stood in a navy suit, answering each question clearly. Did he understand his rights? Yes. Did he understand the penalties? Yes. How do you plead to the charges? Guilty, Your Honor. The gavel's crack made it official. 3 years probation. 18 months without a license. Substantial fines. Mandatory alcohol education. Community service focused on DUI prevention, speaking to students about consequences. For a man used to independence and control, losing the right to drive was more than inconvenient. It was humbling. The championship parades, the roaring arenas, the trust of millions, now overshadowed by a single night's decision. Outside the courthouse, Fisher told the press, "I accept full responsibility for my actions, and I'm ready to move forward." But the question lingers. Will history remember Derek Fisher for the moments he saved games, or for the night he almost lost everything? The twisted Escalade was towed away hours after the crash, but the wreckage it left in Derek Fisher's life can still be seen today. One decision, one turn of the wheel, one night that proves, in life as in sports, you don't always get a second chance. What do you think? Should celebrities face harsher penalties, or was his sentence fair? Let us know in the comments. And remember, when it comes to drinking and driving, there's no overtime.